Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm joined by Trent Luecke, who is a former gym owner and now the general manager of Gym Studio, which is a new offering from the team behind Teambuildr, which I know is an app many of you already know and love. In this episode, we talk about Trent's transition from gym ownership to working in tech, what it's really like to close a gym and redefine your identity. We also discuss how software can make onboarding, billing, and programming way simpler for both you and your clients. Trent also shares some practical tips for creating a consistent client experience, for dealing with difficult members, and building scalable program design systems that won't reinvent the wheel every time. I know many of you really will benefit from that part of the conversation. So if you're tired of duct taping together 5 different apps to run your gym, this one's for you. Let's dive in. Hello, my friends. What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Business for Unicorns podcast. I'm so excited to have on the podcast today for the first time. It's Trent Luecke. How are you, Trent?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm so good. I'm so good. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Let me just tell my audience briefly about you, and then I'll have you say it in your own words. But Trent is a former gym owner, which I want to talk a little bit about. I think in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, right? So we're going
That's
to
correct.
talk about that. He's now currently the general manager of Gym Studio, which is a product by Teambuildr. And Teambuildr, I've been a huge fan of for years. Many of you listening have heard me and Mark talk about Teambuildr. It's the app that our team at Mark Fisher Fitness was the only one they ever liked using when it came to delivering program design for Mark Fisher
That makes
Fitness. So we've
sense.
been a huge fan for years. And I know many of our Unicorn Sunday members use Teambuildr. So I'm just excited to have you on the podcast, talk about what you guys do and your experience as a gym owner. So just say a little bit about how did you make the transition from being a gym owner to now working for a platform like Teambuildr?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I would say probably like most gym owners, they hit a point where you're like, I'm either going to do this for like the rest of my life, or I need
Mm-hmm.
to like make a decision now. And for me, the decision was easy. We were welcoming our second child into the world like 5 months from decision time.
Yep.
Or well, I was 5 months out from that child being born, so I was like, I think it's time. Like I leave before the sun comes up, and I come
Mm.
home after the sun comes up, goes down. So let's chalk it up to we'll try this again, never.
Yep.
So I luckily my brother works for Teambuildr. He's on the development side, so I saw he had a job opening, and I was like, kinesiology degree doesn't have a lot of like direct yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like getting an accounting degree. We're like, cool, I'm going to go be an accountant. So I applied and was a CSM to start, and here we are 2.5 years later.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. I think
Yeah.
a lot of folks listening, hear stories about people who were former gym owners, like you and
Yep.
me, frankly,
Yep.
and they're so curious to hear what they do afterwards.
Yeah.
Some people are in it for the long
Dude.
haul, which I fully appreciate, and
Yeah.
make it a
Same.
lifestyle business, which is amazing. And some people use it as a springboard for
Yep.
another chapter. And so it's great
Yep.
to hear that people can do that.
Yeah. I mean, I was literally thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, I if you told me 3, 4 years ago that I would be now like running a product that I
Hmm.
get to talk to gym owners every day.
Yep.
And oh, by the way, you get like paid to do it, like you have like a
Yeah.
real salary.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I would have believed you. And yeah, so if you're out there wondering if there's a hope for you, there is hope for you. You just have to, man, closing a gym is tough too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we can talk a little about that, like the identity crisis of like,
Sure.
I mean, dude, you wrap your whole existence into this business and then you shut it down
Yep.
and you're like, now what am I? Like I'm just
That's
some
tough.
guy that like clocks into a job. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, you're not alone, my friend. I hear that all the time from folks who
Yeah,
either shut it down or, like in mine and Mark's case, we sold it. And
yeah.
yeah, I think I'm still in some ways. It's only been 6 months since we sold it. I think
I was about to
as
say,
of
I didn't know you guys sold it.
Oh yeah, as of recording this, so surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so I think I'll speak for myself. I think Mark is probably in this case in this boat too. But we're still, I think, 6 months in figuring out like who am I now that I am not the owner of this business that I had for 13 years. And
uh-huh.
so and luckily, business Business for Unicorns has given me a
Yeah,
strong sense of a new direction and identity for many years now. And so I'm
sure.
not at a complete loss, but I think, your experience and mine is, we're not alone. I think it's
Yeah.
very common to have this thing that you built become part of who we are. And so when it changes, we change. And I think
Hmm.
that's healthy and normal. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're finding something, you found something else you really love.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this. I think, the products that you work on with Teambuildr cover a lot of bases. So I just want to talk a little bit about both your experience and the places where the software you work on can be helpful. And I know
Yeah.
the thing that really changed for us when we started using Teambuildr at Mark Fisher Fitness was it really helped us both onboarded clients into our programming more simply. It made us helped us with program design and delivering that program design experience more consistently. So you can just talk a little bit both from your experience as a gym owner and from the
Hmm.
Teambuilder perspective. How should a gym owner be thinking about designing that onboarding and delivery experience in a way that's seamless for members?
Yeah. I think the first thing I would say is like this is impossible to do. So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
ask you to do an impossible thing, but like try to put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Right, like you understand that you maybe have like you have an app for your programming, and then you have an app for your booking, and then you have an app for communicating and like your community, whether it's Slack or whatever, right? Like
Yep.
that all sounds really good and packaged and tidy to you, but this person is coming into your facility and like this isn't their life. This is just where they work out.
Yep.
Like I don't care how good your quote unquote community is. Like this is a huge thing for them that they're
Mm-hmm.
undertaking, and you're gonna ask them to like get on all of these different apps. And oh, by the way, they have like two young kids who they got to shuttle around to soccer practice in between trying to do your workouts and stuff. Like that would be the number one thing is
It's a
like
lot to juggle.
yeah, is like try to put yourself there. It's impossible to do because now that I'm on the other side, I'm 33, I have the two young kids, and
Yeah.
like I I wasn't that, 5, 6 years ago. It's really, really hard to do. But try to do that because then you'll understand a little bit more of like, oh, this needs to be like a bite-sized version of what I probably wanted it to be,
Mm-hmm.
and then as simple and like to the brass tacks as it can possibly be. Which is kind of like what we try to do with Teambuilder and then Gym Studio, my product, is
Yep.
like just man, keep it to the things that like it does the best, and then avoid all the other interaction with just junk that nobody actually need. Well, you may want it, but you may not
It's
need it.
not
Let's
essential. Yeah, it's not
yes, let's
essential.
put it there.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I love that as a first step in that process for our listeners. Right, is like just make sure you're really putting yourself in the shoes of your new clients. Remember
Mhm.
what it's like to be a beginner at anything. Remember what
Yeah.
it's like to start something new. It's
Yep.
scary. It's intimidating. And the minute you say, "Okay, now go download these 2, 3, 4, 5 apps, all that have different passwords and serve different functions," right? We're
Yeah.
all doing our best to
Passwords.
yeah, I'll just say
Yeah.
the last 10, 15 years, I think we've done our best at kind of duct taping together all kinds of software to kind of make our businesses work. And I
Yep.
think we're now in this era of businesses like Teambuilder trying to put it all under one roof to make it
Yep.
all cohesive, both for us as gym owners and for our clients to make it more
Yep.
seamless. So I love that as a first step. So put yourself in their shoes, think about how to
Yep.
make it simple, focus on the things that really matter when you're onboarding new
Yep.
clients. What else? What else should they be on their radar when they're trying to deliver a consistent experience long term?
I would say like the first, you need to have some kind of like pretty concrete plan for touch points or I mean just interactions in general for the first like probably 60 to 90 days.
Yep.
Because that is like make or break time, right? Like it's just like most other things when you're trialing something, like think about your experience trialing a software, like they usually give you a month. There's a reason they give you a month because
Hmm.
like you need the time, like that's make or break time. So if that's like planned sit downs with them, because like onboarding shouldn't just be the first day.
Taking their
It,
credit card.
yeah, cool, you're onboarded. Smell you, Michael. I don't ever want to talk to you again. Yeah. No, yeah, like you should think of this as a 60 to 90-day process and then
Mm,
have it like pretty well mapped out, whether that's automated, like using some kind of like email automation, or if it's like a cool on day 14, I'm going to send them a text that
mhm.
says, hey, it's your 2 week mark. How are you feeling? Yada, yada, yada. That's where I would think encourage them to like kind of two
Yep.
fronts. Make it a longer thing than just accepting credit card information,
Yeah.
but then have it like written down somewhere so that either you or a staff member can go through this process consistently with during the most important time.
Yeah, 100%. I think
Yeah.
that's so smart. It's just really having a plan, right? Having a process that's written down somewhere for you and your team, if you have a team to
Hmm.
follow, that's really clear on what are our touch points, not just for the first day or week, but I
Hmm.
love that you're saying like focus on the first 60 to 90 days. What is
Yeah.
the experience you're creating for them, over that period of time? Because that's what makes it sticky. That's what helps
Hmm.
them build like connections and relationships that make them want to stay. And
Yep.
if you can really wrap your arms around them in those first, the first month or two or three,
Yep.
they're more likely to stick around for a long time. That makes
Yep.
sense. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this, because I think, one of the biggest headaches of gym owners, there's a long list of headaches, but one of them is clients who just never seem to follow instructions. Clients who never want to follow that roadmap, that path you've put in front of them. So, both when you're a gym owner and now when you're working with gym owners, what advice do you have for people who really struggle with those clients who seem to always color outside the lines?
Man, the first thing that comes to mind is
Yeah.
get used to it.
Yeah, it's true, right? Yeah, develop that
Because
thick
man,
skin early. Yeah,
yeah, man, like 80% of your problems come from 20% of your people
yeah,
type of thing. Like
hmm
that's just gonna be how it goes. But man, I like really don't have a whole lot for that. I thankfully in my gym experience time, I really didn't have a whole lot of people who like really pushed boundaries.
mm,
But the few I did, I would say like I think the easiest way to think about this is to tell you what not to do,
sure,
and then you can kind of sort out what you should do.
sure.
Don't ever like have any kind of public confrontation with them.
Mm,
That public doesn't always mean like in person either. Like I'm
sure.
talking social media forums. Like
Yeah.
try to do everything with them one on one, so that
hmm
way everything has like good context. So don't do anything in public, and then don't do anything while you're emotional.
Yeah.
Those would be the two things, and like I feel like you can probably sort out the rest
Yeah.
because I mean, I had the fragile ego of a 5'8" man that ran a gym, so trust me, I understand it. When someone crosses you, you want to put them down,
Sure.
but it's just like the last thing that's probably going to be good for anybody. So like, take a second, take a breather, and then
Yeah.
try to have the conversation like, hey man, like man to man, man to woman, can we have a conversation in my office about
Yeah.
what happened type of thing? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really smart, Trent, and it makes a lot of sense to me. I think it'll be really valuable for our listeners to hear that from you. I like the first thing you said too, which is like get used to it, right? I think we have to normalize the idea, right, that like your clients they don't work for you. You work for them.
Yeah.
They're going to
Yeah.
do what they want when they want. That's the nature of being a customer anywhere.
Yep. Yep.
you know and so you don't get to dictate which steps they take when. You can try, you can
Yep.
use both carrots and sticks to try and get them to do the thing you want them to do, and it won't
100%.
work all the time. That's okay. But I
Yeah.
think when the things do go wrong and the things are off track, meeting with them face to face in person is great. Not
Hmm.
airing that laundry in public is smart. I think that's really smart, and also not responding from a place of just reactivity and emotion, right?
Yeah.
But giving yourself a beat to like walk around the block, take a breath,
Yeah.
sleep on it, whatever you
Yeah.
need to do, so you're not coming in super combative and hot, because you're not going to be able to de-escalate if you're the one who's escalating.
Yeah, exactly. Hard to do both there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm
really
angry, but please don't take
yeah.
my words the wrong
Uh,
way. You're like, what?
it's
Yeah.
really tough. Um,
Hey there, Business of Unicorns podcast listeners. I'm just making absolutely sure you have already gotten your free, instantly downloadable copy of my new book, The Little Book of Gym Marketing Secrets. You can find a link to download it in the show notes, or you can go to gymmarketingsecretsbook.com. I worked super hard to make sure this is a less than a 30-minute read and is a comprehensive overview of all the things you need to do to grow your gym, get more leads, more clients, and importantly, change more lives. Again, find the link in the show notes where you can download your free copy at gymmarketingsecretsbook.com. And now back to the podcast.
so another thing I know that we got so much value out of at Mark Fisher Fitness when it comes to using Teambuildr, your original product,
Hmm.
is it really helped us organize our thinking and systems around program design and program delivery. Can you
Hmm.
just say a little bit about what all the best gyms that you work with who seem to really be able to scale their program design? What do they have in common? What are those gyms doing with their program design systems that allows them to scale?
Man, I would say like they know who they are and they
hmm
know who they are not
hmm
is like really, really, really crystal clear.
Yeah.
So they're typically not for everybody. Like they know exactly who their customer is,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes it really easy to write programming.
Sure.
I mean, if you want to get like really nitty gritty into the science, which I don't want to, it's really boring. Man, most programming probably needs to look the same for like 99% of people. So like we
Yes.
can start there, but also like there is some nuance within program design where like if you know exactly the program or the person you're writing this for, it makes it really easy. And obviously I'm not talking about like literally Michael Keeler or Trent Luecke. I'm talking about like the bucket that we fall into. If
Mm-hmm.
you know who you're writing for,
Sure.
makes it really easy. So that would be the first thing.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is we already mentioned it, like the word systems gets so much buzz, but like I would like to call it like they have a pattern of repeatability
Yep.
where like within Teambuildr, a great example is they're like, hey, we have made templates that are like a base level program that you need to start with. When you start with that, you can just like pull the block out that you don't like and plug in your block that you like.
Mm-hmm.
So, to steal the Jocko Willink, like discipline equals freedom, truly. Like if I actually give you a template, it gives you more freedom to be creative than you having to worry about building the template to start with. And then you're like too lost in the sauce of like, well, does my A block need to be a power based thing? And where's my B block need to be
Mm-hmm.
hypertrophy? Like, no, let the owner and the head coach, whoever that is, or whatever the hierarchy is, let them create some kind of template. And then anybody who's writing program underneath them, they just plug and play blocks. So that way it's all like, it's basically done. You've already talked about like who you're training. That's all clear. Sweet. Then everybody just gets to add their little like if it's an M&M, the chocolate is done. They just get
Sure.
to add their thin candy shell, right? And I'm
Yeah.
stealing that from someone else too.
I
But
love it.
you know who
Yeah,
you are, Luke Summers, if
yeah.
you're listening.
Thank Luke Summers. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's a great analogy, right? It's just
Yeah.
like, we want the core of it to be this repeatable pattern, right?
Yep.
That we can easily scale, and we know exactly who our clients are and what their needs are. So we have templates that speak to the core needs of the people that we serve. And
Yep.
then the coaches get to really use their experience and their expertise to add in that extra 20%, that extra 10% of choosing the right blocks, replacing
Yeah.
things with progressions and regressions based on the person, their injuries, how they're feeling that day. But the bulk of it, the bulk of the thinking about the programming, you're right, it's all kind of done in advance, templatized,
Yep.
and gives them a chance to have a voice, but not be starting from scratch each time. I think that's
Correct.
so smart.
Yeah.
I talk to so many gym owners on a regular basis. This is no shade to anyone listening who still does this, but still have everyone designing programs from a blank piece of paper,
That's
just like
tough.
starting with a blank spreadsheet every single time. And I get
Yeah.
it. If you're charging, $150, $200 an hour for one-on-one training, super high end client, and they want a super, bespoke experience, and maybe they actually are an athlete. Like that's a whole different
Yeah.
story. But for most of the people listening and most of our
Yeah.
gyms, that's not, we're serving a general population whose
Yeah.
workouts can look pretty much the same most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
got news, man. Like you're not reinventing the wheel here. Like
No,
that's usually my big beef is like, dude, just write a decent workout. I promise it'll be
100%.
fine. They care less
100%.
about that. And they care more about how much fun they had. Telling you.
100%. Yeah, I think that's really smart. So let me do this. In the interest of time, I would love to just hear a little bit more about, tell our listeners a little bit more about Teambuildr and also the product that you work on now, Gym Studio. I actually
Yeah.
don't know much about, but I do know
Yeah.
that Teambuildr. So you can just kind of distinguish between the two and help people understand
100%.
how they use these tools to help run their gyms.
Yeah, absolutely. So Teambuildr, you think of that as like your programming platform, right? That
Mm-hmm.
is the X's and O's of like the service you provide. So if you're programming for personal training clients or you're programming for your group classes, that would all take place on Teambuildr. That has an app, a mobile app that then gets sent to your clients' phones that would have all the programming on it. So it's
Yep.
got the sets, reps, whatever exercises that you're programming for them. So that's the Teambuildr side of the house.
Can I just say one more thing about this, Trent?
Yeah.
Just as a little backstory. Some of you, the long-term listeners to the podcast, will know this, but before we started using Teambuildr at Mark Fisher Fitness, we spent, I don't know how many years, and I certainly don't know how much money, designing our own program design app. I
Oh
don't know
my
if you know this,
gosh.
Trent. Yeah, and there are parts of it that were really great because we get to add like bells and whistles that are very colorful and very Mark Fisher Fitness feeling. But no matter how much time and money we spent on it, it never was going to have all the bells and whistles that Teambuildr came with right out of the box. Right?
Yeah.
We weren't developers, right? It just wasn't
Yeah.
make any sense. And so for people out there who think they're going to beat all the products that are out there, including Teambuildr, on their own, I'm here to just say, like, I tried and we didn't. And from all
Good
gyms,
luck.
for all gyms I know, MFF had a lot of money. We had a lot of money to spend on this, and a lot of time, and we dedicated a lot of energy. And I wish I had that time and money back. Right? I think
Right.
yeah. So for anyone out there thinking, my spreadsheets are better, we have this program I made that's better. It's not. It's not better.
Yeah.
With all
I got
respect.
news.
Yeah, just use Teambuildr. It's been a game changer for us. So that's Teambuildr. You're going to continue on with Gym Studio. So keep going.
And then Gym Studio would be like your operations side of the house. So scheduling, billing, running reports on your revenue, doling out memberships, things of that nature. So Gym Studio is the product I oversee. And kind of like to position ourselves in the market, if you will, Teambuildr definitely specializes in working with like high schools, colleges, and pro teams. We also work with a ton of private facilities.
Yep.
So it is a robust, got a lot of bells and whistles software, like you mentioned.
Yep.
That, man, if you can't find something that works for you on Teambuildr, you must have a very unique business model.
Yep.
Or you're a pain in the rear.
Yeah, or you're just not willing to let go of enough to make it work. Because
exactly.
It should work for pretty much every gym I know. Yeah,
exactly. And then Gym Studio is almost like an about face on that, where Gym Studio is kind of flying in the face of a lot of these member management softwares. I mean, to name a few, like the Mind Bodies of the world. We'll just say them because they're the most recognizable.
Yeah,
it's very feature heavy, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think them having a bunch of features is awesome, and then they have a great marketing suite. They have an email form. They have things that can integrate with your website. We don't have any of that.
Yep.
And that's by design, because we want to do three things really, really well. We want to handle your billing with ease and simplicity. We want you to be able to schedule for yourself and your trainers, and then allow members to be able to schedule themselves easily. And then we want to give you reporting tools that you can see the health of your business on the back end. And everything else, we believe that someone else is either, like you just said, is either building it better than we will.
Sure.
And we're professional developers.
Yep.
I'm not. Let me be very clear.
You got a whole team. Yeah.
There are people who are way smarter than me at the company that are developing it, and they agree. Dude, we can't build something as good as a HubSpot or a MailChimp. Let's just integrate with them. Let's just build some kind of communication system, whether it's Zapier or whatever, that allows these two things to talk. We can stay in our lane and do those three things really, really well. And then we can let you, the consumer, pick what you would like to work with. Because, man, when it comes to CRM and email, they're a dime a dozen.
There's so many options.
Yeah, there's a million. And then they all have different prices and different features. So the way we saw it is instead of us building it, sinking a bunch of money in, having to jack up our cost to you, then why don't we just let you pick it? You could go with a free model that integrates with us, and then everybody wins. We get to work on what we like to work on. You get to pick your vendor, and those two things get to work together.
Got it. So if I heard you right, so aside from Teambuildr, which is all about program delivery, program design, Gym Studio is about scheduling, billing, reporting. And so it's basically does a lot of the operations. And to be clear to our listeners, I haven't used that, but I'm excited to see a demo and see what it's all about. Yeah. So, who do you think that software is right for?
That's a great question. Our software is definitely right for someone who wants something simple. So I find that there's two ends of the bell curve that want something simple. Someone who's been in the game for yourself, 15 years, you're I know what I'm doing. I don't need all the extra crap. Or you're pretty new, you're less than 3 years in. You're hey man, I need to get my business off the ground with something good. And obviously we'd love to have you in the middle. If you're a 7-8 year guy, please come talk to us. But that's typically who we find is someone who's either wants something simple and robust enough to do the job, but doesn't have all the extra bells and whistles, and they love good customer support.
Yep. That's important.
That's our thing.
Yeah, that's critical.
Or someone who's brand new, man. We are a really, really good fit for a new gym owner, because you don't need an email automation. So that's not your problem. You just need more members. So
Yeah, good for you. I'm so glad that you all are offering just kind of more all-in-one services. I'm really in support
yeah,
of all the software companies out there that are kind of pushing in that direction, because I'm
yep,
so personally sick of duct
yeah,
taping together all the software to make things work. I know our Unicorn Sounding members are gym owners I've talked to, so thank you for trying to keep things simple and
of
put things in
course.
one place. So people who want to learn more about Gym Studio or Teambuildr, how do they do that?
Yeah. So website's the best place to go. So teambuildr.com for Teambuildr stuff. And then for Gym Studio stuff, gymstudio.com is our
Great,
website. They can also email me. It's
great,
it's real simple. It's Trent, my first name, Trent, at gymstudio.com. You can send me hate mail. You can send me funny jokes. You can send me
nice.
questions, whatever you guys would like.
I
I'd
love it.
love
We'll
to.
put
Love
those
to hear
things.
from you.
We'll put your email and those URLs down in the show notes
Yeah,
down below, so people know how to find you. But
perfect.
thanks for a great conversation, Trent. This
Of
was
course.
fantastic. It's great to hear just your experience as a former gym owner, and how you're using that passion and experience to help build better tools for gym owners. It's
Yeah,
great, and I'm so glad that you came on to share your experience with us. So I appreciate that.
perfect. I appreciate y'all having me. This has been a blast, man.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, my friend, and listeners. I'll see you on the next one.
Perfect. Thanks, Michael.